All right, hi, Mr. Johnston here. I'm sharing my screen poorly. Here we go. All right, so here's where we're going to start today. Friday, October 2nd, 2020. Today I can solve multi-step equations to show proficiency by correctly answering 70% of questions on an exit ticket. So this is the same goal that we had yesterday. And what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate what we learned on Tuesday with what we learned on Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm just going to point out here a couple of keywords. Now, every problem that you see won't be like this, but we're going to look for words like per, each, and every. And they kind of give us a hint for like where we're going to need to use multiplication and where the variable is going to be introduced. All right, so like here we have Janelle earns $4 per hour, but I don't know how many hours Janelle's working. So if I wanted to figure that out, and like the directions say, use an algebraic expression to represent the following situations. If I wanted to figure that out algebraically, I would write for x. Right, so this per lets us know that we have $4 per hour. So per is kind of like our hint that there's going to be a variable introduced. And then obviously, since it's, or not obviously, sorry, but then it's also going to be based on multiplication. So Navi saves $30 every week, but I don't know how many weeks he's been saving $30 for, right? So I'm going to have 30x. And remember, this is representation of multiplication. So if Navi works or saves money for 2 weeks, I could say x equals 2, and then 30 times 2 would be $60. And that's how much Navi would have. Right. All right. So Lynn has 13 shells already in her pocket and finds 2 shells each minute. So I'm going to say two shells each minute. But she already has 13 in her pocket. These 13 shells you can't take away from her. They're in her pocket. They're locked up safe. So if I want to know what her total shells are after 10 minutes or 1 minute, I need to make sure I remember to add back in those 13 shells. All right, and this is also going to follow with Jaden. So Jaden has saved 30 bucks. Good for Jaden. And he earns $8 an hour, right? So that's $8 per hour. That's going to be $8 per hour because I don't know what an hour is. How many hours, excuse me, I know what an hour is. I don't know how many hours he's working. But then he's also saved this 30 bucks. So if I want to know how much money Jaden has, I'm going to have to multiply 8 by how many hours he works plus the 30 that he already has. All right, so in the fall, you charge people $8 for going to their house to retake. Sorry, I've been saying retake tests and retake exit tickets all week. Going to their house to rake leaves. Then for $5 every hour you rake, then $5 for every hour you rake. Write an equation to tell how many hours you spent raking someone's house to get a total of $38. So I'm going to do a couple of these slow, and then we'll pick up the pace to show you how to write out these equations, because that's really what we're focusing on today, is writing out these equations. So in the fall, you charge people $8 just to go to their house. You're like, I'm willing to rake your leaves, but it's $8 just for me to see what I'm getting myself into. Then you get $5 for every hour you rake. So now the question is asking you to write an equation to tell how many hours, this is what we're looking for, it's our variable, you spent raking someone's house to get a total. Now you'll see me do double underline. It's kind of like a hint, that's the equal sign, to get a total for $38. So what I like to do and what I did in class was start it off with the equal sign. Well, I know that's where my total is. So my total money that I got, let me move this over here, was $38. So right away, good test taking skills. I can cross off B and D because they equal 8 and 5. And that's kind of what the city's going to do when they give you questions on the test or the SOL, is that they're going to just kind of move all these numbers into different places. Like you see, you have an 8, a 5, and a 30. And they're just all in different places, but only one of them is correct. So now I'm going to look for that keyword that we mentioned earlier, per, every, words like that. And I see that I have 5. So that's $5 for every hour, right? Because hours is going to be my variable, but I don't know how many hours I'm raking. But then you got to remember that I'm charging $8 just to show up. So you get that $8 regardless. That's a flat fee. Okay, and you'll hear that term a lot. And then you can just come down here and look for your answer and bam, let's see. All right, so example 2. I always just read the question thoroughly first, and then we'll start talking about it. In the summer, you charge people $10 for going to their house to mow lawns, then $6 for every hour you mow. Write an equation to show the amount of hours you spent mowing a lawn to get a total of $34. So important pieces on this question. You charge people $10 for just going to their house. Again, like, yeah, I'll mow your grass, but it's $10 just for me to look at it. Then you get $6 for every hour you mow. The question's asking us to write an equation to show the amount of hours. So that's our variable. That's going to be our x. You spent mowing a lawn to get a total of $34. So I'm going to throw my equal sign down. And I know that my total is 34. That's my ending amount. So I'm going to get rid of D. I'm going to get rid of C. Come back here, look for my word, my like alert word, my phrase. What do we call them back up here? Keywords. I'm looking for my keyword. Here's every. So I know that's going to be $6 for every hour. But I also know that I get a flat fee of $10. And then from here, you just have to find the equation that works or that matches. All right, so example number 3. So now here's where we have to combine what we did on Tuesday, what we just did now, with what we learned on Wednesday and Thursday. This is really like a direct combination of Tuesday and Wednesday. So in the spring, you charge people $7 to go into their house. That's your flat fee to water flowers. Then $4 for every hour you water. If you make $27 at one house, how many hours, that's our variable, did you spend watering the flowers? So I'm going to throw down my equal sign, move this up. Throw down my equal sign, 27. I know I'm going to look for my keyword here, every. I'm going to have 4 for every hour. And then I'm going to add in my flat fee because you always get that. That's like when that in the other question with the girl with the shells or the boy that already had the money, right? That's the flat fee. Those are the shells in her pocket. That's the money in his account. All right, and then if you have problems solving these, I would suggest going back and watching Wednesday's video, September 30th or October 1st, because I'm not going to show you Desmos anymore. You have a video for that. So from here, I know that I need to get this 4x by itself, which means I need to do the opposite of +7, which is going to be -7. These cancel out. This is going to become 20. And then I just bring my 4x down. Now I need to get this x by itself, which means I need to do the opposite of multiplication, which is divide. So I divide both sides by 4. I know these 4's cancel out, which leaves me with just an x. And then 20 divided by 4 is going to give me 5. And it asked us how many hours. So that's going to be 5 hours. All right, example 4. Jackson went on a nature walk to find more rocks for his collection. Jackson starts the walk. He starts the walk with 7 rocks in his pocket and finds 3 rocks per hour. How many hours, that's our variable, will it take Jackson to have 43 rocks? So I know I'm going to start with my equal sign. I know that my goal is to end with 43 rocks. So I have 43. I look for my keyword, which is per here. So I have 3 rocks per hour. And then I know that Jackson started with 7 rocks. and there's no way you're getting those rocks out of his pocket. All right, so again, draw my line. Need to do the opposite of +7, which is -7. These are going to cancel out. 43 minus 7, I believe, is 36. Bring my 3x down. Now I need to do the opposite, of multiplication, which is 3, or divide, sorry, which is divide. And I'm going to divide by 3, and you'll see these 3's cancel out, leaving me with an x. And 36 divided by 3 is just 12. All right, so I'll stress it on this one. So an Uber ride costs a fee of $175 plus, that's a word you guys all know, plus an additional $3 per mile driven. How many miles were traveled? How many miles, that's our variable, were traveled if somebody paid, that's our end word, $46.75. So I know that I'm going to put my equal sign down first. I'm going to put my $46.75 to the right of that. That's where I end at. That's my answer. Or it's not my answer, but let's x. I'm looking for x, but this is the answer to the equation. So I know that I have $3 per mile plus my flat fee, right? We see this plus here. So that was kind of a hint, plus my flat fee of $1.75. Again, we're going to subtract $1.75. Hold on. All right, so this is the big part. Like once we get this equation, we should be good to go. Because I know you guys are strong with this. You can use Desmos. You can put, you guys can put 3x plus 175 into Desmos and then x equals, and then test out all these different variables. Test out 15, test out 25. And see which one's going to equal 46.75. Right, so the most important thing is just getting the equation right. And then from there, you guys really should be strong with solving for x. And I'm going to see here that when I subtract $1.75 from both sides, I'm going to be left with $45. And when I divide by 3, I am left with 15. So that's going to be 15 miles, right? Because it asked us how many miles. All right, a cell phone company charges a flat fee. So now that's I've been saying flat fee the whole time. So that's just a dead ringer giveaway right there. Plus an additional 25 per text, and we have plus. If Melissa's bill comes to $85, and Melissa's bill comes to $80.50, how many text messages did she send? And that's going to be our variable. You can also see what the variable is by usually looking in the answer because it'll explicitly state it. So I'm going to throw my equal sign down, $80.50. I have $0.25 per text plus my $45. So I subtract 45 from each side. Remember to put your placeholders there if needed. These cancel out, so I'm left with 0.25x. And this is 3550, I believe. All right, and feel free, you guys, you have Desmos, so use that. Something else I want to point out, and I'm not going to say this is always going to work, but have any of you ever sent 1.8 text messages? To me, that's a red flag. But I might be wrong, so we'll leave it there just in case. Here I divide by 0.25. And x is going to equal, because these will cancel out, 70. It's going to be 142 text messages. Right? All right, and finally, while walking on the beach, Maya finds 3 shells per hour, and Miguel finds 12 shells per hour. Something seems a little different here, right? All right, well, let's keep going. Write an equation. All right, so cool. I only have to write an equation. I don't have to solve. All right, nice. To show the amount of hours, all right, that's our variable. They walked on the beach if they collected 90 shells. Collected, past tense, that would be our end of our equation. So I know that my equal sign is 90, so I can get rid of D. See, but I have these two pers. Every time I see one of our words, one of our action words, one of the words that we're looking for, right? One of our key terms, there's usually an X there. Well, I know it's going to be 3. Now I know there's Maya and Miguel. They're both finding shells, so I'm going to put 12. But Maya's finding 3 shells per hour, and Miguel's finding 12 shells per hour. So they're both variables. So it's just a little bit different. And you can see that our answer is going to be C. And just for a little bit of fun, because it's Friday, we had 3x plus 12x minus 90 equals 90. Sorry, 3x plus 12x equals 90. My next step, if I wanted to solve this, would be to combine like terms. Now I know that I have a 3x and a 12x, and when I add 3 and 12 together, I get 15. Can't forget about that x. And then I have 90. Now I want to get this x all by itself, so I'm going to divide by 15. I know the 15s are going to cancel out. And 90 divided by 15 is 15, 30, 60, 90. 6 hours. Was it hours? Yep. So it's going to take Maya and Miguel 6 hours on the beach to collect 90 shells. It doesn't sound like a bad day to me. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Please, if you need to finish, or if you're supposed to take your retest, please do that. And the end of the quarter, grades for me stop on Monday. So make sure that you retake anything that you didn't score high on. Other than that, just enjoy your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.